So what is the deal with these POC radios? Aren't they just cell phones? Well, sorta. I like to say that they're cell phones, but easier. Yes, it's true that they operate over cellular networks. So if the grid is down, they're not going to work, not completely. The Poclink Ultras actually have an FRS radio built into them. They're hybrids, so if there's absolutely no cell service, you can still do short-range communication over FRS, and they communicate with other FRS radios. But why would you want one? Why wouldn't you just use your cell phone? Well, I got a couple of scenarios where these might work out. Let's take a look. My wife works from home, and I work downtown, and so she has her ringer off all day long because she's on Zoom calls. So if there was an emergency, and I've had this happen where I've tried to call her or text her and she hasn't answered because her ringer is off because she's in session, I could treat this as, you know, the ultimate emergency radio. Plug this in, program it, turn it on, and put it on her desk with the volume all the way up. And so she knows if this thing rings, it's like one of those old school weather radios from the 90s, that it's a dire, dire, dire emergency, and I really need to get a hold of her. So I'm calling her on the hotline as opposed to on my phone because, you know, there's a meteor inbound or missiles or something like that. Well, here I am on I-35 at 5 o'clock in downtown Austin, trying to get home. And I've got an emergency and I need to get a hold of my wife, and I'm having issues with my phone. So what am I gonna do? So let's show the app live. So I got my group, my Texas Prepper group. Shows chat between my phone and the two remote radios. And if I go to location, my wife is out running around right now, and I can see where she's at. If I back up, top left-hand corner is where I am. So this can also work as a GPS tracker. So if I go to device, I can see what her battery life is. I can set the ping rate interval for the GPS tracking, signal strength, approximate location of where she's at. She's at running around some errands right now. And I can call her if I want. What if you've got kids? What if you have kids who are getting into after-school activities, athletics, cheerleading, soccer, whatever, and you need to be able to communicate with them, but you're not quite ready to give them a cell phone for whatever reason. So you can give them a Poclink radio, you can keep an eye on them with the GPS that's embedded, and you can have the same coverage as you would with the cell phone with no texting, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. So at a significantly lower upfront cost of $200 and a significantly lower monthly cost as opposed to giving them a full phone. A lot of benefits there, huh? What if you're an outdoorsy kind of person? I've got a friend who likes to do long distance kayak racing, and those are a couple of day-long trip in water and out on the elements. He's got cell phone coverage, but do you really want to be carrying around your $2,000 iPhone just to make communications? Whereas since you have cell service, you can carry one of these with you for $200 and talk to the wife or your friends behind you, or, you know, people back home in case you've got an emergency. So this is significantly less expensive than a cell phone is, with sort of the same capabilities. Also, his wife can keep an eye on him using the GPS tracker and see where he is along the route. If you really want to go inexpensive, you could have one of these for each group and one person back home, since they will interact with FRS radios. Everyone's got a Baofeng, they're $20, so you can communicate from here to here, from an FRS radio, Baofeng, whatever, to a POC radio, and then you can relay the signal up and out. So by having the capabilities of a phone at a lower price, at a lower, you know, cost, both cell service wise and the cost of the equipment, you're more likely to kind of take it out other places, and you can leave your phone back in your car. you're out hiking or something like that, and you don't want to risk losing your iPhone down a cliff or something like that, you can have one of these and keep the same sort of communication with friends and family back home in case you've got a problem. Advantages. Now they talk about unlimited range and talk about, you know, global communications, and that's true. I can give this to my brother-in-law when he goes to Europe because it's just a cell phone. Now there is a global calling plan that's $69 a year. I pay $120 a month for my Verizon phone, so $69 a year is pretty awesome. That's the other benefit, is that even if, you know, hey, it's just a cell phone, it's cheaper than any cell phone plan I've ever seen. So a lot of flexibility here. If you've got friends and family who have a mix of iPhone and Android and a mix of carriers, and you're trying to coordinate between multiple groups, you know, group chat texts between iPhone and Android don't really kind of work all that well. Not everyone wants to use WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. So you can just give them one of these and you can kind of have that same range and same capability. And if you really don't want to give them one of them, then an FRS radio will communicate to them if they're within range as well. So you've got kind of the best of all worlds. You have the power of a cell phone and range of a cell phone with the GPS tracking, with, you know, unlimited interoperability, unlimited range inside of cell phone towers, and then with the FRS hybrid, you've got something to fall back on if the grid completely goes down or whatever. So to coordinate between multiple people in multiple locations and not have to worry about, you know, what app you're using, I can see a lot of benefits here. So a pair of these things runs $400, so $200 a piece. I've got a discount code down below, and depending upon when you watch this video, they've got a special free service for life deal going on. So if you think this might be the right thing for you, check out the link down below. Thanks everyone. Catch you on the next one.